All right. So right now we are currently live on the Error 404 podcast. Everybody, how you doing? It's good to see everybody. John is working out some technical difficulties. He was on his iPad and he had to switch out because true to old iPad formats, you just never get to see them. They go out real fast. They don't like to charge while you're using them. It's just a ridiculous amount. So he's hooking up his laptop with a new webcam. Yeah, so we're going to just remove John from the stream here, and I will go ahead and I'll show you guys me for the time being. Hi. They call me Toby too, and welcome to the Error 404 podcast. When we actually get it all kicked off and started, we'll go ahead and we'll run our standard stuff. But for right now, it's just kind of me and the fans. How are you guys doing today? Is everybody having a good Valentine's Day? I myself cannot stand Valentine's Day, but I'm glad that for those of you out there that do celebrate it, I hope you're having a good day. So it's I'm not used to just sitting here by myself. We're having a great time. Hi, I'm John Johnson. I push buttons. And King Grimlock is here. Weedot is here. How are you? How is everybody doing today? Good morning, Daniel. Good to see you. As usual, I just want to make sure that everybody understands. Hi, Joe. I just want to make sure that everybody here understands that we do not normally look over at the comments. While we do the actual podcast. Podcast essentially is about 1 hour. This one will run a little bit longer than that. So we're going to try to keep it at about 1 hour once it actually starts. But outside of that, I hope you guys are doing having a great day and doing great things. Angel is in the background as she's acting as Stan and Waldorf from the Muppet Show, all in one. I don't know if you can hear her laugh, but you put Steam and Among Us on your desktop finally. Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, I am still like, the problem with me playing the game Among Us is I get so focused on the tasks, I'm not paying attention to anything. Like everybody else is running around and like focusing on everybody else and where everybody is, and I can't do that. Like I'm a soldier, give me a task and I go and take care of the task. Yeah, so that's how I play that. Doing good, holding the fort down over here on Twitch. Awesome, Stone. Stone is once again the only person over on Twitch. What's up, Steve? How are you? Stone, I appreciate you going in on Twitch for me there, bud. None shall pass. Well, thanks, Ethan. I hope you keep being awesome as well. We'll go ahead and we'll get this show started once John gets logged in on his laptop and we get everything ready to go. Yeah, Delvis, I'm like Among Us, like it's a great game. Like I have a lot of fun with it. I love chatting with everybody that's in there, but they're all so focused on watching everybody else that I feel like I don't even know if it's worth doing the tasks because I have yet to complete a game because the tasks have all been done. How you doing, Coda? Did John push the link in the bio? No, John actually has a login for this. That way he can control things too if he needs to. You did catch us, Raven. We are having a couple of technical difficulties. We're waiting for John to get set up on his laptop because the iPad is just not working out today. It keeps telling him that he's losing battery power, even though he's plugged in. So we're getting him set up on the laptop here in the background. Stone Cold's happy. He's got some friends over in the Twitch land. And we are actually about 4 hours earlier and 1 day late on when we normally do this Error 404 podcast. We usually shoot for Saturdays. Lately, my Saturdays have been occupied by my new job. So I have not been able to go live with 404 recently because of that. John does not need to control a daisy, much less StreamYard. Wow. That's, he can. No, that was Grimlock. He can hear you. Did he low in the end of the connector that works with Nintendo? Oh, did he blow in the end of the connector? And let me explain something real quick. This is actually, Delvis, this is a good thing. So for those of us that grew up with Nintendos, did you guys know that we were the reason that our Nintendo cartridges did not work as well as they were supposed to? Because when you blow in the cartridge, you actually blow humidity onto the copper connectors. And what happens is you cause oxidation to fall on top of the copper connectors. The best thing that we should have been doing was using rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip and running over the copper connectors to clean them before every time we played. Because what we were doing by blowing on them is you'd inject that cartridge with humidity into the Nintendo itself. And yeah. Oh, so John is here. John, you look great. He's got a new webcam. Everybody say hi to John.
Hi.
All right. So, John, are you ready for this day today?
Sure.
Welcome back, everybody, to Arrow 404. I am They Call Me Toby, too. You can find me on Twitch, on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, pretty much all the places. With me, as always, is my co-conspirator, D-Flix, a.k.a. the director, John Johnson, who is in Toby attire today.
Yes, I got the bat, I have the thing, the shirt of the Don't Be Left Alone with Children. I have all the things. I'm good to go. I can't impersonate anybody though. Like you and Mariah can impersonate people. I can't do that. I was going to do a photo shoot though of like my favorite TikTokers, and just I can do stills. I think, but I don't think I can do. I can't do the way you guys do it.
John does, by the way, have the best like weird looking evil smile. Yeah, that right there. Yeah. Best smile face I've ever seen. So. Funny. Today is our special Valentine's Day Arrow 404, all because my work wouldn't, well, actually not my work this time. It was something else kept me from being here on Saturday, which works out well because, D-Flix is a huge fan of Valentine's Day.
Yes, I'm a fan of holidays. Just to be clear, I'm not Christian. I'm not a Cupid. I'm not a leprechaun, but I celebrate all their holidays.
Yes. Yeah. We do the same except for Valentine's Day.
I haven't done too many of the Jewish ones though. I did a couple because Duncan's Jewish, but like I haven't done too many other than like when he takes me to go do something.
Uh-oh. What did it even respond? She asked, "Hey Google, who is John?"
No, it does. It's connected to Wikipedia. So you have to ask the specific right question because there's like 50,000 John Johnsons. So like it comes up with like a million different ones every time. But as soon as they connect those to IMDb, it'll be better. But now you don't like Valentine's Day. Now give me your grievance.
I don't like the premise of Valentine's Day. I don't see the purpose behind Valentine's Day. I think. And I know that it was actually essentially like the rumor is that it was invented by the gift card companies, but that's not actually true. There's a different history to it than that. But it is essentially a fully made up with zero history holiday. It's been turned into a holiday for women that I guess just felt like they didn't get enough for Christmas. Like it's just there's no reason behind it. If you love your significant other, there's no reason to have a Valentine's Day because you should be treating them the way that they need to be treated and giving them the gifts that you'd like to be giving them all year long. You can spend time with them all year long. Like I do not see any reasoning for Valentine's Day to exist whatsoever.
Okay, well, I think the initial reason why Valentine's Day happens when it does is because of like the winter season and the whole like the same ways reading like Christmas is in the middle of like, so basically farmers don't kill themselves, I think is the idea of why they put the holidays in this time, because of depression and stuff like that. I think that's why Christmas is in like middle
or Christmas could be around that time because they claim that was Jesus's birthday.
Well, it was a pagan holiday first. That was
right.
actually
well
time.
the Yule.
That was put there for that reason though, so that farmers wouldn't get too sad.
Yeah, I think the Yule was there first.
Okay, all right. So now I probably don't have a lot of people who will back me with this, but I'm a big fan of consumerism. Because consumerism makes a world that doesn't really exist, but I like it. It's like a dream world. There's no bugs in commercials.
Oh yeah, we're gonna argue this one for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Consumerism is the devil.
No, it's not the devil.
It is the devil.
Fairy tale. It's the same thing as a fairy tale. They're just trying to sell you something. Fairy tales are trying to sell you not to kill people, and they're telling you to buy something, but they're giving you the same like kind of BS story.
And okay, so why do you like Valentine's Day? Like what is it that you support about Valentine's Day? Like is it the idea behind it? Like
no, it's not. It's really not, there's no basis for it, because I'm once again not a Cupid or like religious in any way, shape, or form. But we reversed it. So in our household, like, I will definitely say it was designed for men to do things for women. Like that was the idea. Like to buy them chocolates, buy them all the things. But we reverse it, where Mariah does something for me on Valentine's Day, and I do our anniversary. So we split the holidays up, so it's like it's an equal standing.
Okay,
right
so
now, up there building things.
So you don't do Valentine's Day in what people would consider a traditionalized manner.
No, I don't do anything else. I don't even think I poop right. I don't think there's anything I do that is in a traditional manner at all.
Well, so then I'm going to argue then saying that you also don't actually like Valentine's Day, which is why you felt the need to change it.
No, I didn't. We made up the holiday.
Mark it now as a completely different day to do something different.
No, but there's also the standpoint of like people who like you. I'm not going to use your words, but people who are in relationships that need to kindle, like to respark, and they use Valentine's Day as a way to do that. It's the same thing. Like I got into a debate with Devil Seam once about cross-dressing, where he said that women or men who cross-dress that are not cross-dressers are doing it for all the wrong reasons. And it's like he kind of went on a huge debate. And I said that I was raised by cross-dressers, and like the concept of why they do it, or the good thing to look at, is that, let's say, somebody like Toby, who's not exactly that feminine, but he may, dress in a certain way that gets him to appreciate and understand things that women wear and things do, even if he's not like, directly like. I think it's an understanding of the other demographic.
I can tell you by getting into the Lilith character, I can appreciate back problems that women have, and I can appreciate the amount of work that goes into putting on like just something as simple as what we look at as simple as eyeshadow.
Right. And when you put on, Lilith, you're not making fun of women. You're essentially just creating a character that is that design. So it's not, it's kind of like, it was a debate we had. We kind of like, we went our separate ways at the end. We're still friends, but we just had like a cordial debate on like because I think what he didn't like is that it was used as a punishment. Like if people lost a bet, they would have to dress as a woman.
Oh,
and I don't think that's the way that puts down women at all. I think it gets men to do something that they never would do normally, and then they have a better understanding for the other side of the sex.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll agree with that, but I don't understand how that translates into Valentine's Day.
Well, Valentine's Day is essentially celebrating a relationship that you saw as not doing well, and that's why they had to celebrate Valentine's Day. Something you said in your live.
What I said. Okay, so before. I'm going to stop John right there, because John is infamous for taking words out of context and making up phrases. So what was said during my live was that people that need Valentine's Day are people that are shitty at understanding their own relationship. people that absolutely need Valentine's Day and they rely on that day to get things worked out and get things working are people that don't understand their relationship for the entire rest of the year. Because I treat my wife like a queen. I give her the things that I think that she needs, or the things that she wants throughout the year. I treat her well. We have an amazing relationship, and both of us have the same feeling when it comes to Valentine's Day. What's the purpose of having one day if everything is already figured out? If you haven't figured out your relationship by the time I think Valentine's Day I understand the purpose of Valentine's Day maybe for people that are dating, but not, I don't understand the married concept of Valentine's Day. It makes no sense to me. If you need a specific day to rekindle your shit, it's already over.
Well, all right. Well, that's a debatable thing.
Yeah, if you've got to wait an entire year for one specific day that's on a calendar listed out, you're hurting.
Well, no, if you're waiting for the one day, then yes, that is a mistake. But at the same time, you can celebrate that day as something to do. There's another side of it too, which is Galentine's Day, which is when all the girls bond together because they don't have a significant other. And I think that is a really big moment because it's kind of like reverse psychology, where like they want you to buy the chocolates and all those things, but then there's a large group of women who probably wouldn't take care of each other as much on that day if it wasn't for the marketing of it. And like it's kind of like essentially like consumerism is like, buy this for whoever, buy this, and so they are inundated with that all the time. But they turned it into something very powerful, which is them bonding and talking and taking care of each other on that special day, basically to battle the advertisement and things that are thrown in their face.
And I think another thing that we're kind of skipping over here too is the impact that Valentine's Day has on kids. I think Valentine's Day is a horrible concept, especially when it comes to kids, because now you start talking about inclusion and things like that. I mean, exchanging Valentine's Day cards at school and things like that. Now you got that poor kid that goes home and he's got nothing and he's going to feel like nobody loves me and so on and so forth. I think that's horrible.
Well, no, I think now when they do Valentine's Day, there isn't like you're supposed to like make one for the whole class. You don't.
No, yeah, I understand. It's everybody gets a trophy concept nowadays.
No, everybody gets looked at and says like, this is different than like, you would try to achieve something and you didn't achieve it until they give you an award for it. This is basically saying, you don't talk to Toby too much. Take a moment and tell me what you like about Toby.
Right.
I think that's more of an inner, like trying to figure themselves out kind of thing versus it is like try to get to the finish line. You didn't get to the finish line, but thank you for trying. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's nothing better than pity compliments. I love that. That's great for a child's self-esteem is pity compliments. Oh, I feel we're all going to feel bad because nobody loves Toby. So we're going to force you to show Toby some love today. That'll make him feel better. That'll make him feel better.
It's not about trying to make somebody feel better. It's about looking into yourself and figuring out what you like about that person.
So we do it for selfish reasons.
Yes, we do everything for selfish reasons.
Oh my God.
So far as society is concerned, my God.
I mean, that's the problem with society, I think.
Well, we can end it.
Here, you can help me.
You and me.
Let's do it.
We can figure this out. Error 404. This is the beginning of we're becoming supervillains. Yes, with your bow and arrow. So I was thinking we should do a series called Tupid, the Toby Cupid, that just shoots people who are in love.
It's just
like, oh, you're happy?
Oh, you're happy? Good to know. What do you mean you don't like my hair today? Mission accomplished. Let's go.
Yeah. That'd be a funny series.
Yeah, if I can find couples to do it with.
I can find couples.
I know you can find couples.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I think even though you can have a good relationship, which I feel that Mariah and I have a good relationship, we like the fun of it. You know what it is? It's me doing a reverse trends. Like essentially, like there's a trend where you're supposed to do it one way, and then I do it like they go to wipe the mirror, and I spray myself in the eyes.
Yeah, I do. I do the same thing. I do what you call them reverse trends. I call them anti-trends.
Yeah,
yeah.
But this is like the same thing for us because I think now think about this: if Angel said, we're gonna celebrate Valentine's Day, but it's gonna be about you, and I'm gonna do things to make you have fun and like kind of like a birthday kind of thing. Would you be interested?
Well, God, I fucking hate birthdays just as much.
Okay, so we don't celebrate people.
I did not think we were going to have to do that twice today, but I mentioned birthdays. I saw the look in your face. I was like, oh, shit, Here we go.
I think that birthdays can be a happy time. I think so. I mean, you, I guess, are getting closer to death, but I'm celebrating the fact that I'm still alive.
I'm 2 years older than you?
Well, you just said you don't like it, so I'm imagining your feet.
Birthdays is another thing I don't understand the purpose behind. I don't understand the point behind celebrating the day somebody, like, there's no effort into the day that you were born. Like, why celebrate it? It's just another day, man. Like,
it is another day. Like, that's true. But if you, so like, okay, so 2020 was a terrible year, everybody agreed. But like, everybody wanted 2021 to be a better year. But it's not going to be a better year. It's just the same year as it was last year. It's the same thing. But if we Care Bear stare it enough, that it'll actually become a better year.
That's not how it works at all.
It's completely how it works. You just drop your pants, and go Care Bear stare.
Not one time did the Care Bears ever drop their pants to do the Care Bear
pants? They were always staring.
Honey? So, birthdays and Valentine's Days, 2 days that just they make no sense to me whatsoever. Like, and what drives me really crazy is when parents get like formidably upset. It's 2020 and it's my child's 3rd birthday and they can't have me, but your fucking kid is 3. They're not going to remember that shit. Nor that's something you want. You're forcing that on a child. Now, what happens when you continuously force these large birthdays on kids at a young age and you continue to celebrate birthdays, and as they get older, less and less people start showing up? Now, what are they going to start thinking? Well, I guess I'm less liked than I was when I was 6.
Okay, let me
like, it's all of these types of holidays, the birthdays, Valentine's Days, like all of these things, and because they're commercialized, because one of the things that you love, it is detrimental to a child's health. These things.
Well, I don't know. The children's side of it is a very different thing from where I'm coming from. I'm coming from more an adult side. So let's say there is somebody who wants to give you something. Like, they want to reach out to you, give you some kind of gift for whatever reason it's going to be. A birthday is a reason or a way that they can feel that they can, give you something or, celebrate you, versus like being awkward and being like, it's Friday, I sent you this thing. Like,
I do that to you all the time.
All right, let's say not Toby. Let's say the average human that doesn't have a following.
Horrible arguments.
Let's say an average human who doesn't have a following, like, sometimes it's awkward if you just like give somebody something. Like, there has to be a reason for it, and it's a good excuse to start to. What do we got? Chris, you're an asshole. No one likes you.
No, he's just saying in general, like, hey, happy birthday, congrats. You're an asshole. Nobody likes you. Like.
Well, I'd have a drink with you on your birthday.
Well, absolutely. Like, I don't mind, I just don't understand like the large scale celebration of things like birthdays. Like, even as an adult, like what's the hype up for, hey, congratulations, you survived another year. Like, that's
a big one for me, but
I mean, yeah, if you got stage 4 cancer and you made it a whole year, hey, congratulations, man. Fucking hope to see you this time next year.
And you got the people who are very sad that like celebrate, hey, I made it again. I got through what I got through it. It's my birthday. And my friends show a bunch of love to me for, surviving and making it and pushing forward. So I think there's good reason for it. Now, so far as the kids thing, I don't have kids, so I don't know how to even begin to understand or comprehend how that works. But
you want one? I got one left.
No.
Oh, hold on. Never mind. Wife said no.
But chicken. I think holidays, like, I think what we're really breaking down with Toby right now is that he doesn't like people. I think that is where we're getting, because like, it's not about the holiday itself, it's about how people celebrate the holiday is what he doesn't like.
Well, in turn, I mean, people's actions are going to make you dislike something, right?
Well, sometimes.
If the action remains the same every time that specific day or holiday or event happens, like, right, okay, let's take a perfect example of something that could easily, like, I went to a TikTok meetup,
Mhm.
and it was absolutely, like, it was just chaos. And I, with me and crowds and things like that, like, because it was designed as, like, stated like it was going to be highly organized, and it just wasn't. And there was just, I had a horrible time.
Okay.
And I was invited to go back to it the next year, and I was like, absolutely not. And it put a bad taste in my mouth for meetups. It was my first meetup I had ever went to, and it really did. It put a horrible taste in my mouth towards meetups. But now I will tell you the positive that came out of that is I took all the lessons from that, and I took the lessons of watching other meetups and talking to people about meetups that they had gone to and what they liked and disliked about them. And I was like, all right, I'm going to make a meetup. I'm going to create this, what we now call the family reunion. And I'm going to create this, and I'm going to improve on this idea. I'm going to have this more organized. I'm going to have things set up. And I think the ones that I put on are extremely eventful. I think they're well liked by everybody that goes to them. But yes. I've talked to so many people that have been to meetups that they're just like, these are horrible. And it's because of the actions of others that made them. That either maybe somebody got too plastered and too drunk and they were out of control, or it was poorly organized, or it was in too cramped of a space, or, it wasn't set up the way that, like, they want it to be, like a meet and greet where everybody's kind of open, but no, you got to pay to go walk up to somebody and talk to them at a table. Like, it's just.
Well, okay. So what I'll say is that I come from a convention world, which is organized, like, meet and greets kind of thing. And right. I would say your meetup is actually more, the people who are going to come to your meetup. There's somebody who's involved with you or your fan base for the most part.
Right.
But like something like JT's meetup that we went to in Kentucky was originally supposed to be
700. How many? 700 people?
It was nuts. But there was no, like, I don't think they understood what was going on. First, I don't think they knew how many people were going to attend, but I couldn't get in the door for 40 minutes. It was nice, but I was stopped every couple feet to take pictures and say hi to people, which was awesome, but it's overwhelming. So, like, there is something to having the table and then meeting everybody as they come up individually like that. This way you can actually spend time talking to them versus, trying to get to another place and, like, you feel like you kind of rush through, like, a greeting or like a meet and stuff like that. So I definitely think that TikTok meetups need to turn into a convention-esque kind of thing. I think they need to be organized in that way.
I think if you got somebody like, okay, so first of all, JT, for those that don't know, I did a little bit of research. I went to his American Heart Association live. Mm-hmm. With him and Ed Dudes and Dan Henry.
Flex Hearts.
They broke the individual creator record for number of viewers at one time that were present all at once. Not the overall. They had 4.3 million people at one point in time in that live.
Holy crap.
Now imagine with all this full steam ahead that him and Dan Henry and Ed Dudes, when they're together, and Scott D. Henry, when they're all together, they have that kind of pull. Imagine they go, hey, the four of us are all going to be here on this day.
I don't think they can do that anymore.
The way that he used to do it. Can you imagine?
Like, he needs security. He'll need to be organized. Like, there needs to be outside people organizing it other than just himself. Like, that can get scary, like, real quick.
Yeah. I had
a moment at the end of the night. Because I would say, like, when I was at the meetup, most everybody kind of looked the same. They all kind of hood and they had a cap and stuff like that. But, like, the two that stood out the most was me and Greg. Like, I'm in a Hawaiian shirt and a fedora. Even if they didn't follow me, they recognized me. And Greg has the beard and, like, the dancing.
And the round glasses.
And the round glasses. So we were very, like, you could see us wherever until like by the very end.
With Greg, I would imagine you could probably smell him walking through. It just smells straight like cannabis.
Actually at that point. But essentially, the two of us met at the end of the night, and we got surrounded. They circled us, and we're just facing each other. And he's covered in sweat, like I thought there was fear in his eyes, which there was for a moment, and then he just goes, "They ain't gonna get me." And does this thing and like bounces away into the like.
Did he do the Fortnite dance?
He did. He did that and like left me. and then they just they formed around me. But what I found out later is that he was given like 8 edibles. Like, so Greg wasn't really there.
No,
Greg was gone. Who I met, I don't know. But like we basically like we found each other. We're looking at each other. He's drenched in sweat. He got me scared. My heart started pounding. And I look and they formed a circle around us. He just goes, "Hey, go get me," and just like it just goes out. I was like, I can't do that. I have Parkinson's.
They ain't gonna get me. And you Parkinson shake and phase through the wall. That's
But at the same time, it was very nice. It was very cool. But having like, I think it feels like you're being rude sometimes when you're trying to get to a conversation with somebody else. And somebody stops to talk to you because you're not, and it's not organized enough where you're taking the time to talk to that person. You're just trying to get.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the one thing, like that's the one thing I feel really bad about with the meetups that I hold is if you've been there, you know, yeah. I'm constant movement the whole time. Like I rarely am in one place for more than 1 or 2 minutes. And I'm constantly on the move. I'm checking on people. I'm cleaning up. Like I'm getting things ready. I'm adjusting music. You know, I'm constantly working on other things. And I'm always making sure, I mean, because for one, it's on my land. So I'm taking care of my land. I'm taking care of the people that are on it. I'm taking care of any issues that are coming up. And that's why I keep it limited. Now, next year, by this time, by the next one that we have, people are going to start talking about inclusion and things like that because I have to limit it to the number of people, but it's not inclusive. It's just, if you know about it, you know about it, and you're going to be waiting and you'll register when it's time to register. And there's the limited registration.
I wouldn't consider yours a TikTok meetup. I think I think the way you call it like a family reunion or something like that makes more sense. Because it's not TikTok meetup. It's not like random TikTokers are going to be attending to build their fan base.
Well, and we had that discussion, where there's become the difference between the Toby's Army and the people that follow They Call Me Toby too.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So I'm not going to people are not going to come to this meetup that just follow They Call Me Toby too. Right. There's going to be people that have a sense of connection, or there's something that they feel as part of that family, which is why I called it a family reunion, because the people that showed up were names that I recognize or faces that I recognize. I'm not all that great at remembering names as I am faces, but I mean, I would start seeing faces or hearing a name, and one of those two things would click off to me. And these are people that I'm very familiar with because I either always see them in my live, or I see them in my comment sections, or they're constantly on like my For You page on TikTok now, essentially is a couple of people that I've never heard of before, and then a bunch of people that I already know. That's my For You page.
My For You page has turned into boobs bouncing and snakes.
Yeah, but the snakes you don't prefer, but the boobs bouncing is definitely
I do that too.
High tier level for you.
It is. It's basically like because I don't know why, but like I've seen snakes kill like 50 things, and I don't like it. I think I watched the whole thing, which is what gets me into trouble.
Well, is that because you get paralyzed?
No, well, maybe.
Explain the snakes thing to everybody as to why this is an issue for you.
Okay, so I'm not cool like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, like, I hate snakes. I piss myself. It's not something that like. It's like we were shooting Skeleton Key 3 and a snake rolled up. I climbed on top of a van and wouldn't come down until the thing left. And it literally went up and like stared at me. Like it knew me. Like it specifically knew I was the guy. When I was in kindergarten, or first grade, something like that, we went to the DC Zoo. And there was this boa thing. And it was literally laying by the glass. And everybody's coming up and like tapping on the glass, doing all the things. I walk up and just go, tat, tat, and just goes, like I saw down its throat. Like it was just right there on my face. And ever since then, I just can't. I can't even do like, if a worm gets too big, I'm in trouble.
A worm?
They look like snakes.
No, not at all. I've yet
snakes.
to see a single snake that looks like an earthworm.
No, there's baby snakes.
So you're just okay.
I'm not. It's not like people when I say that they're just like, "Oh, Indiana Jones." Ha, ha, ha. I was like, "No, you don't understand." Like, like I go fear. Like, we were filming this movie. We were standing in a creek, and I had the camera, and a copperhead went by my leg, swimming by. I pissed myself. So what I did is just dipped, handed the camera, and went and sat in the car until the shoot was over.
Now, WeDot says that it's because she sends you guys snake. She sends you snake videos.
Does she send me snake videos? Did she
do you send? Did she do this? She
I didn't know she sent me those. They're probably my email.
You got to check your email. Yeah, you definitely got to check your email. I mean, I myself, I don't have a problem with snakes. I'm not, obviously, I do my best to recognize anything that's poisonous, and I know how to respect a snake.
Right.
But I mean,
chocolates on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but at the what?
Because your relationship with a snake isn't going so good. You get them chocolates on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I give them chocolates on Valentine's Day in hopes that they die because snakes can't have chocolate. So, but I don't have problems with snakes. I do, however, have problems with lizards. Not like that. Not like the same way that you do. And I know that's weird because lizards are essentially snakes with legs.
Yeah.
But I've had some bad encounters with lizards. Now I used to catch skinks when I was a kid. Do you know what a skink is? A skink.
Is that a racial term?
No. Oh God, no.
Okay.
I understand I'm critically Caucasian, but no, it's a lizard.
It sounds like
yeah.
Something.
Jesus. But my first experience after we went out and you'd catch skinks, they're about this long or so. I didn't know about lizards and their tails.
What about lizards?
I was too young. And I went to go pick one up and the tail popped off and the muscle it contracts really hard. So it just becomes like a solid piece of meat, but it's moving and it was so strong I couldn't keep it in my hand.
Okay.
And it flipped out and that freaked me out. And lizards are fast, like way faster than any snake I've ever seen. And I've seen some really fast snakes. I've seen a bushmaster. Now that has scared bushmaster scares the hell out.
I need to put new thoughts in my head. Let's just leave that. Snakes are snakes, they're fine.
Well, the good news is the bushmaster is pretty much just in South America, so you're fine there.
And someone will bring it here.
Somebody's gonna send me a photo.
Yeah. What? Hawaii, they don't allow snakes, so I figure I have to end up there.
Just go to Greenland. Go to Ireland. They don't have snakes in Ireland.
Yeah, but they have leprechauns and banshees, and they have other things.
All the cool things you'd like to film.
No.
No. Why no?
I figure if I met a leprechaun, within 5 minutes, I would say something that would have me curse for the rest of my life.
What could you say to a leprechaun that would get you cursed for the rest of your life?
Oh God, anything. Like it just like when I get uncomfortable, I get really fast with my mouth.
Oh, I know.
And I figure if I met a leprechaun, I would say something about Lucky Charms or
oh God.
Like
so you would get uncomfortable around a leprechaun?
If I saw a fucking fictional character appear in front of me and be like, "Hey, John, let's talk about it," I was like, "No, none of that."
So what if I just got Lil Minja to show up at your house dressed like a leprechaun?
I know him; he's a comedian. Like, no, I'm talking about somebody who just appears in front of me. Like, obviously magic. Like, not like just a person who's small and dressed as a leprechaun. Like, I'm talking about like it's like they appear and like my room turns green, like shit like that. Obviously magical.
Magical. Okay.
Yes.
So okay. All right. So I will say this. There is a lizard out there, John, that looks like a snake. It has no legs. It's called it's called a glass snake. It can detach its tail and segment its body just like a regular lizard. But it's called a glass snake, and if you hold it, it feels like a garden hose. Like it's real. It's like real. You know how like a regular snake is real soft, right? Like it feels soft. A glass. Oh, he's like, no, I don't. But when you hold a snake, it's very like it's pliable. Like it's a snake is really soft, like its skin, and it. But a glass snake is like hard. Like it's legitimately like holding a garden hose, like a stiff garden hose. That's what it feels like.
Okay, let's talk about all right. So we have our debate on holidays, which I don't think either one of us are going to change the other one's mind.
No.
Yeah. But let's talk about. Well, here's another debate, not a debate, but here's another reason why I think holidays are great. They all have horror movie themed movies.
I'll agree with that.
Like every holiday has like, except for one, which I'm going to be the first to do. I think. I can't say it because then it'll be out there. So I'll tell you later.
Well, okay. So here's the good news: is there's private chat. You can see it on the side of the screen over here. Just type it in there, and I won't mention it. Just type in one in the private chat. What's up, Lucky? Glass snakes are like a trouser snake? No, Graham, I said that they're stiff. For whatever reason, I guess I just typed in. Okay, you just typed it in, not private chat. You typed it in comments.
Oh, God damn it.
You're an idiot.
Why do I get buttons?
Father's Day has a horror movie.
I didn't type in Father's Day.
Well, I mean, does Father's Day technically have a horror movie? I don't think it does. You have Stepfather.
You're thinking of Stepfather. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I bet Father's Day does.
Which the remake to Stepfather was done really well, I think.
I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen the sequels to Stepfather, but not the remake.
Yeah, the remake was done pretty well.
There was basically like a big, I think what was Black Christmas was the one that like hit in the 70s, and then they started making like April Fool's Day and prom night, like anything they could come up with that was like any kind of holiday, they just went apeshit with. And there's so many Christmas ones. I'm obsessed with them.
I want to say my favorite Christmas one has got to be the one that came out recently, the one with Shatner in it.
Oh yeah, A Christmas Horror Story.
A Christmas Horror Story. God, that was done so well.
It's a toss up between that one and then there's crap. Basically, it's like a serial killer in a Santa Claus outfit, but at the end, he finds out he becomes Santa Claus.
What?
He becomes magical because he killed enough people. Like it's a weird. It's like a 70s film. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Somebody in the chat might.
I might have to know. Silent Night.
No, that was like Silent Night was like a ripoff of the Tales from the Crypt thing. This was like
we have to get Simmons so we can make a Kwanzaa horror movie.
I've done that.
You've done Kwanzaa
as a sketch.
Oh,
it was basically the day that all the white people are killed and none of the black people are affected.
Oh, here's one that you came up with when we were talking about before, John. Somebody says, "I love the remake of My Bloody Valentines." You even mentioned that before we went live today.
I do that. Well, your wife actually brought it up. I forgot about the movie. I just remembered Valentine's Day, and then she brought up My Bloody Valentine, which is both films are very, very good. Like
I have not seen either one of them. Now, wasn't the remake the one that they did with the big axe murderer and everything in the 3D originally?
Yeah, that wasn't originally, but that was the remake.
Yeah, that's the remake, right?
Yeah. The problem with those slasher films in that generation is that if there was a recognizable guy, like if there was a guy who's like, Angel from a TV show or somebody from Supernatural, you're just like, oh, that's the killer. Like, why else would they be in this movie? That was like the worst thing about movies of that time period because they were always like, there was always like a bunch of guys you don't recognize, and then Dawson's Creek. And you're like, okay.
Like, right. Hey, is that James Vanderbeek? Oh, well, there's the killer.
Yeah, exactly. I hated that.
That's what I like. And to get off the topic of the holiday horror movies, one of the questions I get asked a lot is who do I think the next Wolverine should be? And I tell everybody it needs to be somebody that nobody has ever known, nobody that's anybody ever heard. A good actor that knows the character in the comic really well.
Yeah,
that kind of looks like him. You know what I mean? Like, get the guy that looks like he'd be able to play the part, that already knows the character, but he's a nobody.
He also needs to be the physical type.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's already got
stocky, like hunched over. Like, it needs to be like that kind of guy versus like
a 6'2" Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, he's like a hero guy. Like, it's not a hero guy. He's an anti-hero guy. Mm-hmm. He wants to kill everybody. They just stop him from doing so.
Yeah, I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, I think Hugh Jackman played the part really well. I think he pulled it off. I think he pulled off being able to constantly let people forget like how tall he is. Mm. And as the years went by, before every movie, he would just end up getting more jacked, which gave him that kind of wider definition, which as you get taller, the bigger you get, like, it kind of makes your height seem to shrink a little. And I think he did a good job at getting buffed up and getting and starting to be a little bit more hunched over.
Yeah, I think probably because he didn't know comic books that well when he was originally cast, and then over time he talked to enough people that he started like reading the comics and figuring it all out and like kind of changing his performance for that. Yeah. But I think they basically it was kind of like that Wolverine is like Jack Nicholson Joker. Like, Jack Nicholson Joker wasn't the Joker, but it was this version of the Joker that, you know, kind of worked for what it was. And I think that's what that Wolverine was. It wasn't Wolverine, but it was like a version of him that worked for what they were doing.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like the rarest holiday horror film that there's April Fool's Day, which was the 70s slasher. There's Christmas ones. There's President's Day.
God, what a great movie, man. I just watched that again the other day.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That one in what's the other one? The FDR?
Yeah, FDR wasn't really a holiday movie, but that was just like,
no, but that was, God, it was good. But President's Day, that movie's epic.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Listen, if you're listening in right now and you're watching the broadcast live, go check out President's Day. Oh my God, you will not regret it. It is just fun. The whole movie is fun. Just Taft in the bathtub.
Oh yeah. I think we should probably say now, like, what movie we're going to watch for the next like episode, so people can go watch it in between the episodes.
Oh, absolutely. Tell them the movie.
The movie's called Willy's Wonderland, starring Nicolas Cage versus basically Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics. It came out yesterday, and he doesn't speak one line of dialogue the entire film. It is amazing.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna find this, and I know I'll probably end up having a.
No, and you should do, instead of the trailer, they have a clip that they have a exclusive clip. Play that because the music won't get registered.
Okay, clip.
And it gives you a better.
It wasn't the music that got me.
Oh, what?
No, it was the trailer itself. Somebody claimed it as copyright.
Yeah.
I don't care. I can cut it out. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this up real quick here on StreamYard so everybody can see it.
Definitely play the clip though. Like, the clip is just that's what the movie.
Am I just playing the clip then? Let me just play
the clip. Just play the exclusive clip.
Okay, let's hear the Ozzy the Ostrich versus the janitor.
That's the one.
Okay. All righty. So give me a second, guys, and we're going to pull this. The wife is going to come over and watch this. So
this thing is amazing. The whole movie is amazing.
All right, I am going to share my screen. I'm going to share my Chrome tab with the audio. All right. So let's go ahead and check this out real quick.
The movie is amazing. You're muted.
So that's the movie I'm going to watch, and we're going to talk about that on the next Era 404.
Yeah, so everybody else who wants to watch it to keep up with us, so that'll be the movie that we're looking at next time.
Yes, it's called Willy's Wonderland.
So good.
Jester says it's very Evil Dead feeling.
It is. You could tell Nicolas Cage had some influence, and the song they ended with, I know he paid for himself, because the budget of that movie could not afford that song, and all of a sudden this song plays, you're like, oh no, Nicolas Cage paid for that. Well,
this is an excellent. Stone Cold is wondering where you can watch it. This is a perfect time for me to bring up one of the most used apps that I told John in a previous version that you can go and check out. The name of the app is called Likewise. If you go ahead and download that, it'll give you. You can sign up. It'll ask you certain things that what you like, what you dislike, and then it'll tailor recommendations for you, as well as has a search engine for books, restaurants, movies, and TV shows. If you go into Likewise and you type in Willy's Wonderland, it'll not only bring it up, but it'll tell you everywhere that you can stream it or watch it. But John, where did you see it at?
I saw it on Amazon Prime.
Okay, so it's available on Prime right now. Not like through Stars or anything like that, right?
I think it's everywhere. Like it's literally. But I had to rent it for $20. Like it was. It's one of those ones where it's like kind of like they did with
Okay, so for right now, it's not streaming anywhere without purchase.
Not that I've found. No, I think you have to purchase it.
Okay, so there's another place that you guys can go. You can check to see if it's available. You can go to novamovie.net and see if it's available to stream there. Might not be available yet, so you might have to go out and purchase it if you want to watch it. I'm going to purchase it. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, it was good. It's worth it. They deserve it. Like they really deserve it. Like they worked hard.
Yeah. Now, since we're already on the topic of Nicolas Cage, I'm going to mention, one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies of recent times has got to be Mom and Dad. Because he plays, like, everybody always talks about how Nicolas Cage overacts and he's like over the top and he's just crazy. I'm like, that was the role that he got to do that in. Like he got to be crazy Nick Cage.
Yeah.
And it was the perfect role for him.
I'll say there's one scene in Willy's Wonderland where Nick Cage becomes Nick Cage. Even though he doesn't speak, he becomes Nick Cage, like the Nick Cage that we all love.
Oh, where he's just
and it's just
where he's Wicker Man out.
He's not speaking, but he might dance a little playing pinball, and it is just fantastic.
Oh God,
it's so good.
I absolutely have to. I don't think it's available on Redbox. I think this is like a direct to stream movie. Redbox is definitely still a thing.
I don't think we have any here anymore.
Oh, Redbox is not even close to going out of business.
No, but I mean, I'm serious. I don't think we have any in Charlottesville. Like we used to.
Look at WeDot shunning me right now. Pay for your artist's work. Like I get WeDot, I get it. I won't do that again.
He's gonna do it.
I'm really gonna do it. They're working on a face-off sequel. That sounds like a horrible idea. Let's talk about. Okay. I'm going to shift this over real quick because we one time did on my live. I made the grave mistake of talking about movies that are bad that should be remade, and people just did not understand the concept
of a bad
that I was talking about, and they didn't understand the concept of a bad movie. And I had people coming up with movies that were already like E.T. Oh, they should remake E.T. What? E.T. is not a bad movie. So this is something that you actually specialize in as a director. Like this is something that you made a statement about. You're really passionate about. Why does Hollywood continuously remake movies that are already done really well? Such as I'll give a perfect example, Point Break, right? There was no need to redo Point Break. But they did, and it was horrible. Like they just wanted to bring it up to modern times and have like parkour artists and guys on dirt bikes, doing more extreme stuff than just skydiving. But it was horrible. It was a horrible remake, and there was no need for it. So what are some in your mind, outside of like what you're already talking about wanting to do, Manos and whatnot? Yeah, what are some movies that are more modernized? Like we'll talk about from the 80s on. Okay. That you feel were either bad movies that had really good premise or movies that had a really good premise that were just done really poorly that you think could be remade to be better?
Well, okay, there's another side to that coin too, which I think there are some good movies that should get remade for a new audience. Um, as long as you keep the general idea and design of the movie. Don't change shit. Like don't like flip the
Well,
thing.
yeah, we talked about a movie. We because you brought that up in private conversation with me. We actually even mentioned a movie as an example. What was the one that we were talking about?
Magnificent Seven.
Oh God, yeah, he hates that remake so much because, like you said, they changed the entire.
They changed the point of the movie, which made no sense. Like I get remaking it because pacing of movies back then is very different, and it's not something that more modern audiences can like get that rhythm, like that real.
Yeah.
So I get redoing it, but like changing the whole purpose of like why the characters are doing what they're doing, and like you're just making a new movie. You're just calling it Magnificent Seven without making Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, they changed the motive behind the entire film.
Yeah, and like I mean, even Three Amigos was like parodying Magnificent Seven when the town was all like gearing up against the bad guys that keep raiding them. But to like lose all that, it's like, why did you just called it Magnificent Seven? You didn't remake this movie at all.
Okay, so what's a movie that you think could be redone?
Well, I'm gonna get some shit for this, but I think The Godfather should be remade.
Before we even start this discussion, are you talking about the original, just The Godfather?
The Godfather. I don't think a younger audience will give The Godfather a chance.
Why?
I don't think they'll watch it because the pacing. The pacing is so slow. I don't think they will stop and give the movie a chance.
Okay, so you're saying based essentially on attention span.
A little bit, yeah. That's the main reason.
So, in your opinion, then, how do you think that The Godfather could be done? If you remade it and you made sure that you kind of kept along the same lines, the same motivation throughout the entire movie, how do you remake that movie? First of all, it's long as hell, right? Isn't it like close to 3 hours?
It is.
The original Godfather. So, how do you remake that movie, tell the same story, but bump up the pace?
Make it a miniseries.
So you're talking just like the opposite of what they did with It. Instead of making it a mini series, they turned it into a 2-part movie.
Right. I would say turn it into a miniseries so you can get to know the characters the same way you got to know the characters in the like original 3-hour version. But don't change anything. You can just get more action involved because obviously they've been in more wars and stuff. They talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So I would just show those, but keep the characters the same, and that way a new audience would get the same story without. Because I just don't think they'll give it a chance. Like I think it's a great movie. I don't think the movie itself can be improved in any way whatsoever. But I want younger people to see it.
Almost like a change. So, and these are two things that a lot of people will kind of put together to comparison, right? Mm-hmm. Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers,
or Thin Red Line,
But I mean, Thin Red Line is Vietnam. I'm going World War II and
Thin Red Line was World War II.
What? No. Oh yeah. What's the movie I'm thinking of? What's the one? Oh no, you're right. Okay, sorry. But I mean,
Thin Red Line was like the terror.
When you look at
Alec did it, and Spielberg did Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan had a bigger pace, and Thin Red Line was really slow.
Right, but you're able to tell more of a story. Right? Like look at how much you got involved into each character with the storytelling of, I mean, now granted, Saving Private Ryan is not a true story, whereas, the Band of Brothers is, but look at how involved you can get yourself into each character by kind of developing them a little bit more and still having a slightly faster pace. So you can tell
something called Tiger something.
What? Yeah. Yes, the one with Michael J. Fox.
No.
I'm thinking of the one with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn.
Oh, that was Vietnam. That was shit. Casualties of War.
Yeah, Casualties of War. Okay. I think The Godfather could be redone because I mean they've done video games and the video games have the ability to tell the story, and that's like playing a mini series.
Right. So I don't think
I agree with you with that.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying Godfather can be improved in any way whatsoever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, I don't think Gen Z is going to give it a chance. So it needs to be kind of like gussied up to be presented to them.
This one might get you a little bit. Here's somebody and this is, in my opinion, this is another one of those. I don't know if you know what a bad movie really is. But this one might actually get under your skin because I know how much you love this movie. Mm-hmm. This is from Grimlock. I want you to look at the second movie, not the first movie.
Cannonball Run.
I would not dare remake Cannonball Run.
The hard part about Cannonball Run is that the performances of the people, I don't think, can be reproduced. And that's what that movie was. It wasn't the storyline. Everybody knows the story. It's a big race, cross country. Whoever gets there wins. Like, it's Rat Race. It's before Cannonball Run, it was called
It was just called Cannonball.
No, there was a movie that came out before it that was the same idea. It's crap. But
Dom, the interaction between Dom DeLuise and Burt Reynolds, that, and then you got Sammy Davis Jr., right? Like, you can't.
And Dean Martin.
Yep, each one of those individual, like, kind of side shots that you'd see of different groups, like, they were always like in pairs or threesomes, and you can't recreate the chemistry that was between those characters, and that's what those movies were about.
Yeah.
It's
a Mad World is what the original was called.
There it is. That's what Paladin said. He said remake the Mad World,
which was the same idea as Cannonball, but it also can't be remade because it's specifically those actors that made that performance, not the story. Where The Godfather is, I think there are great performances in it, but the story was bigger than the performances.
Now, I'll give you, if we're talking about race movies that could be redone, I've got one that I think could be remade, and I think that's Death Race 3000.
Didn't they remake it with Jason Statham?
No, they called it Death Race. It was called Death Race, but it wasn't the same premise. Death Race 3000 essentially was, it was a similar premise, but not the same. Death Race 3000 was like, hey, they're going across country, similar to Cannonball Run, but they get points chalked up as they kill innocent pedestrians and things like that. Like, it's spurred on video games. That was the whole thing. And that had, was that Carradine was in that?
Yeah. Carradine was the main guy, and Sly was the kind of, I don't know if he was the villain or anti-villain.
But Death Race was designed from the government, essentially, or corporations had now taken over prisons, and they had commercialized it and made it into a TV show that was only filmed at the prisons. Yeah. But I would like to see a remake of the original Death Race 3000 with that premise of the Cannonball Run plus the Death Race prison style with updated cars and things like that. And I'd like to see what they could do with that. Like,
sure. And just keep the same story, but just update it so that Gen Z would understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that could be done with a lot more action as well, because even though there was still quite a bit of action, it was pretty slow paced for what you would consider a race.
Right. I'm also saying that I just want to keep saying this, but like, I'm not saying these movies can be improved on. I'm saying they need to be adjusted so that younger audiences would understand them.
Right. No, I get that. It's just like, I feel the same way about, so there's another really good movie that's out there that I feel that could be readjusted so that a younger crowd could watch it. Because thinking about somebody with a shorter attention span trying to watch this movie that I'm getting ready to mention, it would be near impossible. Like, I've mentioned it to a younger audience and they're like, I just couldn't get into it. Mad Max, the original Mad Max.
Sure.
Absolutely. It's because nothing happens in the original Mad Max, really. I mean, nothing really happens in the original Mad Max until like the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Right.
But it's like an hour and 40-minute long movie, and trying to get somebody to pay attention to the slow pacing throughout that whole, it's a brilliant movie. Yeah. But I think it could be updated to where there could be a little bit more going on throughout the movie rather than like the slow conversation. Then all of a sudden, nope. Now I'm flipping the switch, and the last 15 minutes of the movie is nothing but action.
Yeah, even though I love this film, and I would not say it can be improved on at all, but I think Blade Runner could get redone to where it'd have a different pace that I think would keep more people interested.
Well, didn't they kind of try to do that with the new Blade Runner?
That's a sequel. That's amazing. That is outstanding. Like that movie was so goddamn good.
Yeah, it was done really well.
It was. It really was. Like I pretty much, when I sit down to watch a movie, I can tell you the ending in about 5 minutes. I did not call the second Blade Runner. It surprised me. I was like, oh shit. Like it was like Christmas.
So what was the movie that we watched last night that got us both? Like at the very end of it. Oh, Old Boy.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't so we discussed that was going to be the one that I watched, right? Because or that we were both going to watch. We were both going to watch the new Old Boy.
Yeah.
But it just was we'd missed 2 404s, so I'm like, well, we'll come up with something else. So the wife and I watched it. I was not expecting the ending of that movie at all. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Now I didn't watch the Korean one either. But I have seen like the hallway fight scene of that movie, of the Korean one, which is that's probably some of the greatest fight choreography I've seen in movies.
Yeah, definitely.
When they redid it with Josh Brolin, it didn't have nearly the same flair to it.
Well, I think what actually was a better remake of that fight scene was Daredevil. Do you remember the fight scene in the hallway in Daredevil? Like I think the first season of like. Yeah. You could tell that was influenced by Old Boy.
Yeah.
That was a lot stronger. I love those fight scenes. Daredevil, when they would bring those, were just so good.
Oh, the TV show was phenomenal.
That's what like when
the TV show was really well.
Scene, oh god, that was just oh.
Well, and that's like okay, and we're gonna talk about this for a second. So the one thing that I will say now, Daredevil's DC, right?
No, it's Marvel.
No, Marvel. Okay. So the one thing that Marvel has done really well with their is Netflix TV shows.
Yeah, they did.
Phenomenal. Like they resurrected the Punisher. Because the Punisher was just kind of doing this kind of act like it. They had the one decent one, then they came out with Warzone, and you're like, ugh.
Actually, a lot of people we're looking like you and I stand alone with that. Like the Thomas Jane one is not loved at all because of Travolta, but the Warzone one is the one people like.
Really? Well, Warzone it follows a completely different Punisher comic series. So I can understand that. And it does follow closer to the comic than the Thomas Jane one. But when it comes to movie entertainment,
people complain about Travolta's performance like a whole lot.
I didn't have a problem. I think Travolta makes a good bad guy. Like I think he does.
It's one of the problems though with like you were saying with Wolverine, like when you see Travolta as a bad guy, you're just watching Travolta. Like you're not watching like a character per se. It's just him like being a bad guy.
But if you take the Punisher series, that's got to be my favorite Netflix show I think I've ever seen.
I think if you're going to start Wolverine over, you start with Saga 1. The first trade of Wolverine, where it was the storyline was 9 guys raped and killed his wife or girlfriend back in the day, and it's him just hunting and killing these 9 people. In Alaska or somewhere in Canada. It was all snowy kind of stuff.
Do you think
that would start a new Wolverine? Like that would be something completely different.
Do you think Marvel would be better off trying to bring Wolverine to a series, like a Netflix series, like they do with the Punisher and Daredevil and Luke Cage and all that?
I don't think Wolverine works in a series. Like, there's not a lot of there's a mystery to Wolverine. Like, you're not supposed to know everything about him, and like that's why when you had those moments where like X Factor, you're like, holy shit, we're learning about Wolverine. He was like the Joker in that way, where you just didn't know enough about him, and that's what made him cool.
Yeah,
like he had all that. So I think if you do a TV show, it might be difficult unless it's an ensemble.
Right. Because I suppose, with the TV show, if you're doing just the individual character, you're going to want to, you got to do heavy character development and backstory and things like that.
Right. I think
that just doesn't exist for the Wolverine.
Yeah, because like the Saga 1, you only see Wolverine when he shows up to kill people. Like it's a horror movie essentially. You're following the guys.
Yeah. So he's the Slender Man of the series.
Yeah. And then like at the end you kind of figure out why they did what they did. It was Silver Fox, I think, was the girl. Okay. But like so good. It was so good. But I definitely think I would like a solo Sabretooth Wolverine movie. Like just with those two characters hunting and battling each other for the entire film.
Well, let me ask you this question: what did you think? What did you think of the Liv Schreiber Sabretooth?
I loved him. Like I mean, it should be a bigger guy, I guess, but Lev Schreiber is such a good performer that like it's hard.
But are you okay with him not looking like the traditional Sabretooth?
Well, Wolverine didn't look like Wolverine, so like it was like, you know, why not? It's like in this weird world, like
it's modernized
or just flipped. Like Mariah and I were arguing about Heath Ledger last night, where I was saying that, well, I'm just going to say it. Those Batman movies are terribly written. And like, but there's no denying that Heath Ledger's Joker was iconic.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though it wasn't the Joker at all.
That's what you remember about that movie. You don't remember Christian Bale in that movie. You remember the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, his performance was so iconic that it's obviously still portrayed today. I don't think he would have got the Oscar if he didn't die, but like I think for the most part, like his portrayal is what people remember from that series.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
In Bane, I guess but Bane is usually like a mockery thing. Like people make fun of Bane more than they like Bane. They're always kind of like that's yeah. But I think that series was just. I mean, granted, I know a lot of people really like that series, and I'm not saying it's a bad series. I just don't think it's very well written.
Yeah. Well, I do love the one scene that a lot of people didn't realize was ad-libbed, which was was Heath Ledger walking away from the hospital with the detonator, and he hit the button and it didn't go off. Well, it was supposed to, and so he kind of looked at it and he looked back and he went back and when it went off, it was unexpected. Like it went off timed. So when you see him jump, that's him jumping because he wasn't expecting it to go off. And then he was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to continue doing the rest of the scene. And he just walked away. Oh, that's perfect. We're keeping that. And he's like, of course we're keeping it.
The way they wrote Joker, and I'm a bit of a fan, I guess, but the way they wrote Joker was really the Riddler. Like having two people tied in places and he's going to blow them both up and you got to choose which one.
Oh, that's a Riddler thing. Yeah.
If it was Joker, he would have just blown them both up at the same time. Like it just would have been like he was just a wild card. Where like that was a Riddler kind of whole setup. And I also think they built up Two-Face so well and then just killed him versus having him be the villain of the third movie.
And of course they had an excellent actor to play him.
Yeah, it's just
they had a great actor to play Two-Face.
And the whole Robin scene is like, I know those tears in those eyes. I know you're Batman because I'm just sad like you. And it's like, what the fuck was that? Like, that was just, it's Gotham. Everybody's sad. Like, the world is snow and bullets. Like, everybody's sad. Like, it's just.
Okay. And this is, you, just like you said, you have things that people are going to hate you for when it comes to, like the Nolan Batman films. Like, everybody, of course, they praise the fuck out of
me. She defeated me in that conversation.
I've got things about the Batman movie universe that I enjoy as well that people hate me for as well.
What's that?
The George Clooney Batman. I enjoy that Batman because it's a nod back to the campy TV show. Like everything in that, it's overly colored. It's all the characters are overly done. It's campy as shit, and people don't realize that movie specifically was filmed and a nod back to the Batman TV show. Yeah.
I agree with that. I also think George Clooney was probably the best Bruce Wayne other than Michael Keaton. Like, I don't think he was a great Batman, but I think he was a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But Mariah defeated me with one thing. She said, our generation made bat nipples.
That's true. And so we definitely made bat nipples.
You win.
But at the same time, at no point, are we able to say that at no point in time did Adam West have nipples shown through the spandex? Probably not, because back in those days, you couldn't even show a woman's belly button under, with her. I mean, look at Gilligan's Island. So probably not. They probably taped that shit down, I guess.
Possibly.
I don't think I've ever even bothered to look, but now I'm curious.
I bet somewhere in there that shit was tight, like that. Like, like my man was just wearing like. The funny thing about this, I don't know if you knew this in like real life, that the guy playing Robin was like made a stuntman without being questioned to be a stuntman.
Oh yeah, Burt Ward.
Yeah, he was literally tortured like all the time. They're like, They would switch Adam West out with a stunt guy, but Burt Ward always had to stay there. It's like, we're gonna blow this up right beside you, but you'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
It just sounds like something I would do to Matthew. Like just like
just hey Ewald, don't worry, you'll be all right.
Yeah. It sounds
You're the
like
biggest name I've got here right now, but yeah.
So I would take you out of it completely because you would start sliding closer to it. It's like I think I can get a better angle if I would move you out.
If I get closer to the explosion, it'll look better. It'll look more realistic. You're like,
so I pull you out, but I put Matthew in there because he's like, John, are we okay? We're gonna do this, okay?
Because how many times have you had to tell me while filming? No, you don't actually have to fall.
That's true. Actually, I will say this: I did get into it with Matthew during Rifters because he wanted to do the fall into the fire, and I had a stuntman do it instead. We had a debate, and I was like, hey, I can't throw you into fire, man. I just can't do it. And like, so we had a stunt guy come in to do the fall, and he's not forgiven me ever since.
Just one time you'll let me actually fall. That's all I'm saying.
No, one time you're going to do it without me knowing.
You do it all the time. Like I watch it. Cy versus Spade. You literally threw yourself against a concrete slab floor into a wall multiple times, and each time going, God damn, wham!
But I hit you with a bag of fluff and almost caused you to have
it's because of the angle. And you keep saying fluff, but that thing still is going to have some weight with.
I know, but I'm just saying, like it was softer than cement floor.
But I can, if I'm throwing myself, I know how to fall. But when somebody's hitting you with something at an angle coming down right here, and you have a spinal column, and it hits and does this, it's going to cause problems.
Oh, which let me say, let me kind of get this shout out on Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. We're selling all the copies of Right Before Christmas. We got about, I think we have 50 or 100 Blu-rays made.
Did you add the music?
Yeah. Yeah, you had the idea of taking those the Christmas songs that I did as.
How do they not fit? I mean, you did it as Captain. Yeah, you did it as Captain Quarantine, but had you just been like, "This is Saint Nick," and you just did the video and you just sung it that way, you can't tell me those don't fit perfect into Right Before Christmas.
It was brilliant. Actually, I want to make sure we do a Zoom. I want us to talk to you about doing we'll talk about it later, but we're going to do a commentary, I think, by Zoom.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
Tuesday night at 9:30, we're going to sell posters and copies of the movie during my live. I think I might be going as Saint Nick in the live.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Well, hey, everybody be prepared for a lot of sweating.
Yes. Good God.
Because that suit is like straight vinyl, like pleather and vinyl. It's so bad. He was like 14 straight hours of shooting and just at no point in time was his skin dry.
That one actually has a really good blooper reel too. Like that, we have a lot of bloopers because I was just saying so much random shit.
Oh yeah.
That like I think I cracked everybody eventually on that set. Like I don't think one person could, even Jared, who never cracks.
Oh yeah, you got Jared. Well, and Jared got you on that movie too.
Well, he started crying. I was like, I literally like walked up to him, like he overacted me. I came up to him like I'm literally in no pants, wearing a Saint Nick hat, and I walk up like, "You ruined Christmas," and he just drops a tear. I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you?" Like, I was like, "Why are you crying? What? You can't act in this movie. What are you doing?" You can't just decide to act.
There's no acting in this movie.
There's no acting in this movie. God damn it! I'm fucking Saint Nick. Are you kidding me?
I'm Saint Nick. You can't act. This movie is ridiculous. What are you doing? What are
you doing?
I've already made Toby throw up 5 times with this, chili that we found under Royce's seat in his car.
That was Royce's doing. That wasn't mine.
With no expiration date on it.
I didn't know any of that. You guys told me that after.
It wasn't bad until Royce goes, I don't even know how long it's been in there. It should be all right. Have I told you about the corn?
Copies of the movie and they'll be autographed and all that stuff. And we already got the copies already made, so it'll happen a lot faster than the Cy vs. Spade because we sold those before we finished the movie.
Mm-hmm.
This one's done.
I think, as far as I know, I believe now everybody's received theirs.
Everybody should have their copies. Yes.
I'm gonna say that, but I still get questions. Hey, Toby, I haven't gotten mine. Who do I talk to? And I'm like, oh, you can talk to WeDot or John. Like,
I mailed.
I tell people I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, we mailed every single one that we had a list for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing. It was like, hey, when we saw for the copies that we signed up for at your meetup, when do we get those? I said, talk to WeDot and John.
Well, now they should have them all.
Yeah.
If you don't have one now, then something went wrong and you need to contact us.
Well, it's like I sent that frying pan to RJ Riley, signed a frying pan, and post office says it was delivered in his mailbox, and he's like, I still haven't gotten it, bro. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can't go further than what the post office is telling me.
Yeah, it is a rough time right now trying to mail stuff, but yeah.
Here you go, John. This is your.
No, just John. Oh, good. Okay.
No, we not quit. She's like, no, I'm done. No, you just get with John.
Yeah.
This is why we can't have nice things, because we keep pushing everything over to WeDot. That poor girl.
Yes.
Yeah, this is she needs Emily to help.
I think Emily is coming back into the fold more. She worked on the Cy vs. Spade subtitles.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's give our before the show ends, let's give our spotlight to whatever TikToker we want to put a spotlight on that we feel needs to just have more people take a look at. Not that they're doing poorly or anything. We're just trying to shine a light.
I will absolutely do that. For me this week, it goes to somebody that I affectionately call More Cheese, because the way that she spells her name, it looks like it says Mas Queso, but that's not what her name is. Her name is Mask XO, but she spells it MASQUE and then XO. She is phenomenal. Right now she's in the middle of doing this. She's doing this possessed nun character, and she's starting to learn more and more about green screen and things like that. So she's doing stuff where she's on screen at the same time with like the possessed nun and herself as the non-possessed nun. And then
is she the one that does like the white, like the pure white nun with like the
no. You're thinking of the one that does the nun from the movies, The Nun.
Right. Different?
Yes. She's like dressed up like a regular nun, and then her eyes, then all of a sudden her eyes are like blind, like the blind, where they're fogged over, and she's got like her lips are all chapped and her eyes are all red, and she just does a phenomenal job with not just the makeup but her acting. Awesome. If she's doing a voiceover, it's all like she does everything in 1x, and she like really studies it. So her voiceover and everything is just, and she just gets such low views, but she's so phenomenally talented. Like her and Dan, you've seen the movie with her, Dan, and me, right? Where I was paralyzed.
Yeah. That's okay.
That's her. That's Mask XO.
Oh yeah, she was good.
Yeah, she is really good. She's really good, and she lives in South Carolina. So, if we ever need her,
okay,
she'll be available.
Yeah. Mine is somebody that a few of us have heard of. He's called MySpace. He used to be he used to be big on this app and then just stopped making videos. So I think you and I need to send everybody to his page and just spam the shit out of him so he'll start making videos again.
Oh, so he's like, I'm going to stop getting views if you keep spam liking me?
No, I think he just got too busy with life. He stopped making videos and leaving the rest of us hanging, so he needs to come back and start making more videos.
I see him on my For You page.
I don't get anybody. I get snakes and boobs.
Snakes and boobs. Well, and he's neither one of those things. Do we need to get him? Do I need to send him a set of my ditties?
Yes.
Yes, let him do some transitions with the G size, with the G ditties.
Oh yeah, the Monique boobs.
The Monique boobs.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think just to make it clear, like MySpace is really fucking talented. Like he did something that neither of us did at the time, which was the way I described it when we were doing the hot sauce challenge. Was he's been given the exact same tools that we've been given, but he's figured out how to use them differently than us.
Oh, absolutely.
Like he's just so good at what he does and like how he presents himself, and like the stuff he did for Captain Quarantine. He started working his son into it, where he shrunk in age like to his son.
I just love the stuff that just the randomness of his Captain Quarantine cuts. He'd just be doing something else and like you show up and he's got welder's goggles on and like a dead chicken, and you're like, what?
But I definitely would say that I think he needs to have more of a spotlight put on him, because he's. I don't hear enough people talking about him, and that bothers me. So I want more people to. I want him to be relevant in new conversations, kind of thing.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, he's the third musketeer, man. He's our Aramis.
Yeah, he's definitely the heart of like the three of us. He's the one that, like, you know, when he's like comes in, he's just like, we should all hug. And you're like, all right. Yeah, he's just like,
and you usually are the one that goes, all right, and I go, well, I'm gonna go over there,
and then we grab you and we make you hug.
Yeah. And they're like, no, you're gonna be part of this video too, and I'm like,
Anyways, go give MySpace some love. Tell him we sent him.
So I think that pretty much wraps up this week's Error 404. I had pretty good conversation this week, man.
Toby now likes Valentine's Day. It's all a thing.
Not true. Absolutely not true. Still don't like Valentine's Day. Absolutely hate it.
Cards as you can possibly think of, all year round.
See, if it was all year round, we wouldn't need Valentine's Day. Thank you for establishing my argument again. I appreciate that.
You just need to be reminded that Valentine's Day is coming.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? Every time you send me somebody to my Facebook or to my thing trying to go live, I'm sending you a Valentine's Day card.
I don't ever do that. Like, I just mention it. Whether or not they follow that instruction or not is completely up to them. Most of the time, I would assume they don't even do it.
No, they come to my Facebook. They literally find me on other platforms, like saying they call me Toby 8. that this is how I go live. One of them contacted my mother. They contacted my mother trying to find me because I wasn't answering my fucking Facebook. Like, I tried this once, and it turns out the kid was like 12, and I completely fucked up. And like, it was just like, oh no. And it just. I'm getting a Valentine's Day card every time I get one of these.
This is the greatest thing I've heard all day. I can't
it's
even.
Terrible. My mom contacted me and said, "Who's they call me Toby?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't talked to you in a while, Mom. There's this guy.
There's this guy. Oh God, I could not have possibly have gotten better. I could not have possibly have gotten a better ending to this live than that right there. That's perfect. They got a hold of your mother.
They did. One did.
Oh God.
It connects on Facebook. It says who my mom is, so they contacted my mom.
I've never had a prouder moment in my life. This includes the birth of both of my children and my marriage. Oh God.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and log this off. Thanks everybody for coming out and watching. Thanks for listening. John, you're gonna post this on SoundCloud, correct?
SoundCloud and Podbean.
All right. So again, I am They Call Me Toby 2. You guys can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Obviously, you're already on my Twitch and YouTube right now. I've had an amazing time. Along with me, as always, is D-Flix, aka John Johnson, the director and the conspirator behind Darkstone Entertainment. Be good to one another. Jesus, I love your faces, John.
Go fuck yourself.
And have a great night.
Error 404 is now over. Time ill spent that you will never get back.